So how's it going? Hope that everybody is safe wherever you are. Because yeah, the tendency was pretty clear last week, but over the weekend and over the past week, it has become nothing but exacerbated. We are still in a very complicated time, historically speaking. And today I wanted to reflect on things again. Well, I mean, conversations of this kind can sometimes help you change your perspective, and I think that all of us can benefit from perspective at any given time, right? But see, I like doing that kind of thing. I like making observations on things. Human beings are by nature pointing creatures. That's why our eyes are adapted the way that they are, with a clear intent, with a clear direction as to where you look, because that's how we devise plans and we adapt to situations based on how we see others react to things. Their eyesight denotes where they're planning to go, or what they're thinking about, or what they're doing, or you know what I mean. But and why am I bringing this up about observations? Because we have to be keen. We have to be keen about everything. We have to always be on the lookout. We have to always be attentive to what's going on in society. And what's going on right now, it's a bunch of fights with racial undertones. And I had a couple opinions the other time, and I got a couple of mentions against them that, well, maybe you're not qualified to talk about a subject like this because it's dealing with a class and race protest that's centuries old. And I mean, I can see that. I can see how that applies. I am very convinced, if there's any principle that has helped me move through life, is believing on the individual, believing that we have agency about our own lives as individuals. I mean, of course, there's a lot of, indeed, systemic issues, and there I even call them oppression systems. But I mean, if there's something that my father taught me back in the day, whenever he would run into a difficulty, like assembling something or repairing something, some plumbing or something, anything of the sort, right? Something electricity related, he would always go as in, well, there's no possible way that this thing is gonna beat me. I'm gonna withstand the difficulty, and I'm gonna pull through it. I'm gonna be determined. And what I would notice whenever that kind of thing happened, well, yes, he would run into a snag, he would hit a snag, but after pulling through and going through the struggle, he would usually manage, and he would usually complete the job whenever he needed. And I think that, and again, I'm not trying to devalue the fact that there indeed is a lot of struggle, but I am convinced that we have to recognize our agency as individuals. And by all means, for example, yes, go ahead and protest, go ahead and make your statement, but maybe don't do something that's not doing you any favors, like going around and tearing down the streets and looting places, I mean, a lot of the imagery that we've seen about the looting, about the incidents, it's actually manufactured. And I want you to know as much. There's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of fake media, and I want to urge everybody to be wary of it. There's literally people whose only job is to jump on social media and to post, to to push the agenda forward for any whichever kind of agenda or political agenda that you may have. They literally hire them. There's literally call centers for them. And well, not to mention that there's also AIs, right? There's also people that code bots, literally. A lot of times you don't even need a person for that. You just need to actually get traffic on social media, to actually just get something trending, some trending term, something. So I urge everybody to perhaps just take those two observations out of this. Number one, that it is time to be attentive. That it's time to be mindful of everything that's happening. Do not rest on your laurels, because we have to be very mindful of what's to come. And second, that be wary of the information that you're consuming. There's a lot of misinformation out there. In some ways, social media is great. Social media helps connect people in a lot of ways, and I adore that. Basically, it brought the cost of communication down to zero. The cost to make a long distance call is zero, whereas back in the day, it would have been massive. But now that you have data everywhere, you just pay a flat fee, and you can connect with anyone around the world. And that's something that the mere prospect of it is amazing. So I think that the tech is amazing because of that, because it allows people to stay informed and connected. But social media may be also very complicit to a lot of disingenuous things, because it allows people to congregate around echo chambers and just talk all day in terms of hate about the things that move their agenda forward, disregarding everything else, disregarding the dialogue that as a society we're supposed to have. For example, if somebody holds a political opinion that I don't really agree with, that shouldn't preclude me from actually sitting down like an adult and talking with them. And that's a talent that in the age of social media I think is being lost. So be wary of all that. Be wary of everything that's going on the internet, because a lot of it, again, is designed to manipulate you, to alter your emotional state, to alter your psychological state, because there are some people who may be benefited from that, people in power. And another thing that I wanted to talk about finally is that a lot of people overindulge because, well, it is a time of isolation, apparently. It is a time where going outside is really, it's really complicated at times. So a lot of people tend to overindulge on social media or the internet because of that, because it sort of gives them a kick. It gives them a sense of validation, as in, well, if I'm feeling depressed, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm worried about something, well, look at this. It's because of that. My worries were justified, and they bring out whichever gruesome videos there are floating around on social media and stuff. And again, it is a time to most definitely be observant of things. But also, I want to urge you to also be patient and be mindful of things. It's easier said than done, but if there's something that I think we gotta be wise enough to recognize, is that sometimes some situations in life are just a matter of waiting. And anxiety, of course, is real, and it exists for a reason and all. And I'm not trying to discount it, but I think that we cannot live just jumping from anxiety to anxiety. That's not how a sophisticated and good life is supposed to go. Like, sometimes, no, let me conclude this with a little bit of a story, right? For most of the past year, my life has consisted of waking up, working, just hacking away at whichever problem I had to solve. You're shipping my stuff, And then maybe I play a game, maybe I exercise a little bit, maybe I just do some random stuff at home. Editing, podcasting. There's 2 episodes of the podcast coming your way, by the way, so. But. And sometimes the grind of it all, it itself feels tiresome. It definitely does. And again, because there's a lack of novelty, there's not a lot of businesses around. And it's not like I can go to the arcade or that I can go to a restaurant or a bar. But even in those moments, there's a way to try to find variety in things, to try to find solace in things. Sometimes you just gotta sit down and relax and let some time pass. Of course, not from the point of view of inactivity, not at all, but from the point of view of mindfulness, right? Sometimes you gotta let things flow on their own. And I mean, I urge you to find creative outlets to make the most of your time with, because if you do that, well, a lot of times you actually learn to enjoy a little bit of how things may be in times of isolation. So those are my 3 observations for today. Be observant, be mindful, be patient, and whenever you are, stay safe. So I'll talk to you later. Please stay safe.